Hi guys, today we're down at dayticket fisheries and I got my good friends Rick and Willem over from Holland. They've spent the last few days up on Kevin's church pool. They've had a wonderful time, they caught some big fish, but we thought for something a little bit different we'd pop down here and we'd spend a day floater fishing and stalking. Really prolific dayticket sort of complex. There's 3 lakes on site. We're going to be sort of chopping and changing between all 3 today, really just keeping an eye out for signs of fish and drifting that riser pellet out over their heads. Some gorgeous fish to be caught, real stunners, mirrors, commons. You never really know what you're going to get next, and it's a really good day for it. The lads have already sort of found some spots around the lake, and yeah, I'm going to set to and go and find some fish myself. Catch you later. Lovely little Chigborough common, stalked down one of the channels. Going to keep the riser pellet going out. I know William's on the other side of the lake, he's been drifting it out down his part, and Rick's further up here, and between the 3 of us going to get these fish right up on the surface, troughing away, and see if we can catch on this lovely sunny May day. Let's get it back.
Yes. Zo, we zitten hier in Engeland op een dayticket water. Er speelde net eentje aan de andere kant van het eilandje, aan de takken. En nu zit een bedrijf daar, zitten we te vissen. En deze pakte net het brokje. Mooie Engelse donkere schub.
Perfect.
Zo, doei.
Alan. Oh.
It's off, it's off, it's off.
Nou, dat zou je altijd zien. Willem had net een mooie donkere schub aan de overkant, dus ik was omgelopen om die eventjes te filmen. En uiteraard ging kaart mijn andere hengel af, hier op de kant. Op een zigbug. Ik was helaas te laat, Ellen sloeg hem aan, maar de vis schoot kort daarna eraf. Dus ik ga hem gauw opnieuw ingooien en misschien kunnen we er zo nog eentje vangen op de zigbugs.
Really pretty carp. This one was on a piece of bread, good old bread. Forgotten bait, everyone goes in with boilies and pellets and particles, but good old slice of bread never goes too far wrong. And I caught it using a new device called a bread bomb. So I think we'll slip this back and I'll quickly run through with you just how easy it is now to fish with good old traditional bread flake. So this is the way I've been fishing bread. I'm using a new product we've brought out called a bread bomb. I've always been a big fan of using bread, but it does have its problems. The main one being that when you mount it onto the hook, if you can get it mounted in the first place, it tends to fall off very easily. And certainly any thought of being able to pull it back onto a fish, it never usually happens. It just falls off and you're left with a bare hook out there and you're no longer fishing. So we've come up with this little product here. It's called a bread bomb, and it's a device to mount a nice large chunk of bread around your hook. Very simple to use. I'll just take one of these out of the pack. It's a silicone based product with lots of stretch in it, and I'm just going to thread one of these down my main line. You can use it with a bolt machine or a controller float setup, but today, the particular session I'm fishing, I'm just free lining. So if I just mount one of those down the line, Next thing I'm going to do is take a hook. Great thing about bread fishing is you can get away with using a much larger hook than the more conventional sort of floater baits like dog biscuits, etc. I've got a size 6 uni here, and I'm just going to tie that on with a tucked half blood knot. It's the time of the year for it anyway now, guys. The sun's well and truly blazing, and those fish are just in the upper layers. A lot of waters where you're allowed to float fish and the fish are receptive to a floater. They're probably quite spooky now with dog biscuits. So to be able to go in with a bait like bread that's probably a little bit underused and certainly something that the fish like, it can give you a major edge. So I've just tied on that hook there with a tucked half blood knot. And then I just slide the bread bomb over the shank of the hook. Gives me a nice little liner there, opening up the gape a little bit. And that's basically the rig sorted, guys. It looks there at the moment like, oh, it's quite a large bit of sort of silicone on my hook. Actually, when you've mounted the bread inside there and it's floating in the water, this is almost invisible. So if I take a slice of bread, rip off a nice big chunk, like so, and then I can just open this out, get my bread in there, and that just teases down nicely around it. And that's it, guys. Very simple, but it's made bread fishing a lot easier. I've got another product I've got to show you guys. Not actually available yet, but they should be within the next couple of weeks. It's basically stemmed from the zig bug concept. So many fish have been caught in the zig bugs. It was a natural progression for us really to make artificial or imitation floater baits as well. So we've developed a range, there's 3 in a pack, and they're not really floater bugs because they're not bugs, but they're floater baits tied in a similar fashion to the zig bugs. First up, we've got a bread imitation. So a lovely white hook bait there. You've got a size 8 fang uni mounted underneath it, some white deer sedge here and some white marabou. All in all, when that's sitting in the water, it looks exactly the same as a nice soggy piece of bread. Definitely going to get you a bite. Along with that, we've also got an imitation dog biscuit, again tied up with deer sedge. It's a sandy sort of beige type colour, again on a size 8 fang uni. Really neat little pattern, and again, if you're feeding mixes or riser pellet, great hook baits fishing amongst them. Again, it will soak lovely in some oils or some flavours. And finally, the riser pellet. This was a really difficult one for us to perfect, but we got there in the end. It's basically a number of small pieces of foam mounted onto the hook, little size 10 uni. Devastating when you've got those fish really competing for the riser pellet. It can prove problematical sometimes fishing in amongst the riser pellet when they're so preoccupied eating that 1mm, 2mm and 4mm pellet. Sometimes it's very difficult to select the right hook bait. Last year I messed around a lot, taking little pieces of cork and putting glue on them and gluing the pellets to them, and the end result was we come up with this lovely little pattern to imitate the riser pellet you're fishing amongst. 3 little imitation baits, well worth giving a go this summer.